It's my feel-good breakfast show.
In the world of tech, it doesn't get much bigger than this. The E3 2021 conference is now over, with the gaming industry's biggest week of news wrapping up for another year. And if you weren't watching along at home alone or with someone else, you might be wondering what the biggest news and best trailers from the show were. And joining us online is tech guru Grant Hines, who's got to be one of those people who is, I'm hoping, not watching this alone at home, but watching this definitely, and watching very closely, my brother. So what got you excited, bro?
Look, I was a little sad because usually I'm there in LA for E3, and it was one of those years, it's like 2021 is very different to 2020. Like, I feel like things are starting to come back in and you just wanted more of it. But there was so much that was announced. I'm kind of a little bit grateful. Being at E3 is a little bit confusing because you're running from venue to venue, but now it was all self-contained on a couple of live streams. The first thing, which is extremely exciting for gaming, is the Xbox Game Pass. Now, what it is, it's a subscription model that you can have access to, like thousands of games that you can just download for free in the subscription model. And they announced this a while back, and it's been pretty cool. But the amount of games that are coming out on launch on Xbox Game Pass is just bonkers. And it just shows a whole new business model for gamers that's beneficial to us. Like, we can now get like Yakuza like on day one, like or you know, like it's just such a great way to do business. It's such a great way for games. So go, check out the Games Pass and have a look and see where the games are announced. The second thing is Bethesda. Bethesda was bought out by Microsoft, so that's been contentious as to see like what games they're going to be bringing out on Xbox exclusively. Bethesda do Skyrim, so a lot of people know the Elder Scrolls Skyrim stuff. They know Fallout. That's Bethesda's vibe. But they've got a brand new game called Redfall, and Redfall looks like so much fun. It's like a 4-player co-op. It's not a zombie game. It's actually like vampires, which is pretty cool. This is the main character. Look how cool she looks. Like, everybody, as soon as they announced her, she was like, wow, this game looks awesome. And the studio that's behind it in Bethesda is called Arcane. There we go, Arcane Austin, and they do incredible games like Dishonored, with really creative like ways of fighting, which is really cool. So we're really amped to see what this game is going to be like and how it's going to be able to play with your friends, because it's going to be friend-like co-op. So that's really cool.
The imagery just looks phenomenal, bro. Talk about a reel. This is beautiful.
Yeah, and it's funny and it's cool, and there's different classes, and I love the main character, and it's going to be really cool. The third thing that was announced was Breath of the Wild 2. Now, if you guys are Zelda fans, there are a lot of Zelda fans out there.
The OGs, yeah.
The OGs. Breath of the Wild was the Legend of Zelda that came out on the Switch, and now the Breath of the Wild 2, which is going to be the sequel to that. It's a big open-world role-playing game. Like, Amble is still busy playing the first Breath of the Wild, because as soon as you get somewhere in the game, like, you just opens up this huge world. As you can see, there's this massive like map where you can just explore and just rank up, and just, it's a magical world. It's very, very cool. So I think people are very excited for Breath of the Wild 2, one of the big announcements. The other one that came out of nowhere was that there's a brand new Avatar game. Can you believe it?
But isn't there like another Avatar movie in the works at the moment?
I think there's a trilogy coming out, or another 2 movies coming out, for Avatar, which is so. The first Avatar game was actually really cool. I actually really enjoyed it. But this new one is set, obviously, like in the huge world of Avatar. Everything is beautiful. I actually watched that movie again the other day. It is really, really good.
Yeah, I know. It was a game changer, man. Yeah.
And I mean, it actually lives up. Go watch it again. I remember like being disappointed after I'd watched it, and then I watched back and I was like, the graphics look really good, and the world building is really incredible. The concept design, and in this trailer, it's obviously like an open world game, and you get to play on Pandora. But the exciting thing is that everything's there. The dragons, you can ride the horses, you can go like throughout there's the whole scene where they fall out of it like a jet onto the dragon, and then they fight the jet, and I was like, wow, I want to do this. I want to play Jojo's Avatar game. And I mean, the movie's old, so like, you know, it brings back a lot of memories. And then lastly, for a lot of people, it's quite a big deal. Elden Ring has got a launch date. That was probably the first biggest news that came out of E3. Elden Ring is it's a game that is built by the same studio that did Dark Souls. So if you've had friends who are really into Dark Souls, they know that they're going to be into Elden Ring. It's these games where it's trial and error, very old school gamer focused, very dark lore, and all this like fantasy world. And if you're into that kind of stuff, this might be the game for you if you've never played a Dark Souls game. But I know guys like Gareth Woods loves a Dark Souls game, and this is probably on the top of his radar, probably the biggest news out of E3. But it is a little bit niche, so I do like, if you haven't tried a game like that, go try the original Dark Souls games and see what all the hype's about. And if you didn't like those, you probably aren't going to like this one.
No, but I like the fact, because we've become quite like cyberpunk and tech and futuristic focused. It's nice to see that fantasy still has its place in the gaming zone, and maybe this is the game to bring it back to the fore. Buddy, I can see how excited you are. I'm going to leave you alone at home, stealing things.
You guys, don't be rude. No,
I'm so sorry.
We just
miss you, man. We miss you in studio, but great to see you so happy, and some fantastic new, amazing things coming out of E3 as we expected it to. And we are now going to check out Samsung's Jet Cordless Stick Vacuum Cleaner, which is tech you have to have. Maybe Papa needs it.